So then you didn't know us when we lived in Kawawa.
Yeah, I remember you coming to my grandparents' house. I think this is like almost the beginning when you came to work in Kawawa.
Yes.
And I remember you talking in Naskapi with my grandfather, and we were all like there just giggling away because it's a really funny way of speaking Naskapi. And I remember my grandfather saying, "Well, don't laugh at him. He speaks better than you guys." So I was wondering, I was talking to my cousins the other day, well, yesterday, and they were wondering how do we say ankles in Naskapi. I said, "Well, I have my Naskapi course tomorrow. I'll ask them."
Ankles. I should know body parts just like that, but ankles. I'm not thinking that I know that right off the bat. But there is a Naskapi dictionary.
And wrists. How do you say wrists?
Ankles and wrists. Yeah. Let me see if we can look that up. Oh, but I have the Innu dictionary too. See, I'm usually asking Naskapi people to tell me how to say these things, instead of Naskapi people asking me.
Yeah, it's the other way around now. That's probably why my grandpa told me not to laugh at you.
Skokanan. But it says parentheses time on there.
Oh, hang on.
What does that mean?
I don't know yet.
Kamak wakun.
Answer.
Ankle.
Walkun means that means ankle.
How did you say that?
Walken.
Walkun.
Walken.
Walken.
Mm-hmm. Wa pe un.
Yeah. That sounds more Naskapi.
Baha just spill my internet nujo.
Come on. You live in the city. You should have the fastest internet of all of us.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. Not today.
But weren't you supposed to say, "Jenny had GPU nojo, my computer"?
Bahach anoj.
But what's Jenny had GPU?
Mihajmin. I'm getting annoyed. I'm getting annoyed at something. It doesn't have to be how long it's taking. So Nihajmin means like I can be annoyed with like
taking too long.
Taking too long.
Yeah, not just taking too long though. It can be like the process. Like if the process is really annoying, like if like you have a lot of little details that you have to do.
Yeah, but the way you
said
your sentence, "Tapahaj nojo my internet," it doesn't sound right.
Yeah, so I'm saying that it's that the internet's going slow, but Nihajbin means I would be annoyed that it's going slow. Tap. Right?
I'm not sure. I don't know. Because I would always
Ishkaji my internet.
Yeah, and that's you're more annoyed if you say that Ishkaji my internet.
That's Egan. Let's ask Jessica.
Because I would say Jenny had to be my internet.
Jenny had to be my internet.
Had to be. He had to be.
Had to be. Jessica.
He had to be my internet.
That's how I would say.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He had to be.
He had to be.
I'm annoyed it's going slow. Yeah.
We're just going slow.
Just going slow.
Going slow.
Sharon will help us. She knows this word. My internet is going
Ankle.
slow. 단체바이 시스와노.
Then JC 환영입니다. notes to go on
Yeah.
my internet.
니하치피오.
니하지비요.
One JC one sec.
니하지비오 my internet. Well, how do you say internet? Miskets.
니하지비요 맞으면 세단 내저건 비슷한 인터넷.
Yeah, I don't think we have to have a
가지다브다그노.
가지다브다그노.
Wait, is there a word for connection?
가다비다그노.
Gadapitagano. Yeah, Sichuan might have a word for that.
맞으면 세단이 비슷하다.
Go on then.
나 인터넷 connection we.
Gadabishmaganoch onesie.
가다비스마그노.
Gadapishmaganoch. Yeah. So I can see people. It's like more of a Facebook analogy.
I think Gadabishmaganoch would sound more interesting.
Yes.
가다비스네.
Connect.
Yeah. I like that. Jessica Natawapio, can you hear us?
Add that to the dictionary right now.
Yeah, it's hard to hear you. Yeah.
Jessica, I don't think she. Yeah, now she's.
Yes.
Yes, you can hear us. Oh, good. We're having a discussion about my internet goes slow. Tanchpai Siswano.
니하지비요 가다비스마.
Distribute my internet.
Nihachipyo.
She said it the same way.
Yeah, I'm at home. My kids are loud in the room, so I turned off my.
Yeah, okay.
I hear them screaming sometimes.
Nihachipyo my internet. Nihachipyo Tapitaganoch.
가다비하그노.
Katapihaganoch.
가다비하그노. 그쵸? Yeah, that would be good.
Wake up.
Yeah, the link is on Facebook. So
기스호진이 비싸wan지면 디십시. 어디 때문에 근처는 문화지 speed. What's going on?
It's called macaroni pima soup.
Then you should make macaroni pio soup.
Piao soup.
Piao soup. Mo piao. I haven't eaten ptarmigan, caribou, nishk in a long time.
We've been
가와와.
eating a lot of caribou meat.
Got 2 years. Yeah, are they killing a lot of them?
I think so.
Where are they finding them? East.
Much west toward Shasibi. Shasibi.
I saw an article that Innu people are not happy with hunting right now.
Yeah.
Decrease. 1240
I don't know if it's the same ones, but I think it's because the Innu people were not happy because I think people were killing a lot of caribou where there was not a lot of caribou, and they were all worried that there's going to be no more left and they won't be able to, more. But where they're going out in the Naskapi, people, I'm not sure where it is, but there seem to be lots of caribou there. So. Probably, yeah.
Like where the kids are, Miss Snippy, they killed 29. I think.
Oh, Miss Snippy. Yeah, that would be the George River herd. Near Miss Snippy.
The Leaf River herd is the one that's dying, right?
Yeah.
George River is doing better.
George River is doing better. Well, it's 20 minutes now. Should we wait anymore or should we sing a song?
Yeah, I think we should sing.
All right, I'm going to sing a
Darren's
song.
gonna sing
I
for us.
messaged the band. I don't know if they're gonna reply.
Yeah, we'll see. I'll let them in if they come. Let me share. It's it's an easy one today.
Easy day, ano to?
Easy day, easy song.
Shuma, we just now blue book and that.
Blue book and
I
three.
think one of the Musumnya his favorite, yep, it's one of his favorite song they ma. No, to me, na that one his favorite.
Biginig mo yun.
Jaco Nikamon.
And he favorite songs. When Union Demo 364. Yeah. Salis ne bichadaga. Ma 329 içta.
Silas, tu gusto na ano dyan?
I don't know. Let's say ma. No clue.
Or Sharon, what number did you want? Or are we going to do this one?
No, we're doing this one.
Okay.
I was just wondering if it was one of my
Okay.
grandfather's
Because
favorite songs.
he marks it in the book.
He did mark his nihe. I thought it was 364, but 329, yeah, baby.
329.
His favorite. Come to Jesus.
Oh, Pachinatic.
Nehe.
Pachinatic. Okay, we'll do that one next week.
Okay.
Be sure to come.
Nehe.
Pachinatic book. Okay, this one goes like this. Tapa ni Satan.
Jesus loves me this anymore.
Tapa ni Jaitan. Jesus Christ asachihit. Achi witamakoyan. Chichi mishenaikan. Tapwa nastapwa. Tapwa nastapwa. Tapwa nastapwa. Jesus nishachi. We are sokati shit. Katakina waimao. Mishiwa wasisa. Achisti machishich. Tapwa nastapwa. Tapwa nastapwa. Tapwa nastapwa. Jesus nishachi. Jesus nas nishachi. Shasni Shashkani Pekopana Chajia Pahamawit Chishiki Squatamio Tapwa Nastapwa Tapwa Nastapwa Tapwa Nastapwa Jesus Nishachi Nimachi Twawinio Nikawapahitama Akoshianamaka Nikepachitakonik Tapwa Nastapwa Tapwa Nastapwa Tapwa Nastapwa Jesus Nishachi Ispis Nipiana Christ Winika Pachotenik Akomoscha wichimak Wanta hoti dawini Dapwa nastapwa Dapwa nastapwa Dapwa nastapwa Jesus Nishati. Okay, let's talk about this song a little bit before we go on. This song again.
My daughter heard you
I
sing.
know, sing it again. Minwatch Nikmo. This is from Kastamapoch Missionagan number 70. At the bottom of the screen, it says that. At the bottom of the page, it says what this was originally in. So this is from one of the Cree hymnals. In fact, most of the songs in the Naskapi hymn book come from the Cree hymn books. And this is from hymn number 70 in the Kastamapoch Missionagan, the Brown book. And so when we put it in the Naskapi songbook, we had Joe Guanish help us to respell it so that it would be spelled good in Naskapi, but it still has a few problems. Like here, the word for Jesus Nes Nishachiik. Nishachiik means he loves me, but now we would spell this with the KW at the end. Nishachiik. In the Cree writing system, they didn't have the backwards KU, the KW sound, so that they used just the K. But if you pronounce that, it's Nishachiik with a KW at the end. And that means he loves me. This also means he loves me. This is the conjunct form of the verb. This is not the independent. This one you can say all by itself, Nishachiik, just means he loves me. Jesus, he really loves me. Nas, Nishachiik. And this says Jesus Christ, he loves me also. So both of those are different ways to say the word he loves me. Ashachihik and Nishachihik. Here in the, let's see, I was looking for, there it is, Witamakoyan. Achi Witamakoyan, I have been told that that the Bible tells me, in the Geduji Font, this is the Bible. Geduji Font, great book. So Achi Witamakoyan. We would spell this with a T instead of a Ta. The Cree wrote it with a Ta, Witamakoyan. We would spell that in Naskapi with a T, Witamau, Witam. We spell this word with a T. So the spelling has a few glitches in it, in the hymnal. But for the most part, you can make out what it says. When you say, I really know something, Tapwan Satan, you pronounce that just this part of the word, Satan. Ne,
In the
Satan.
brown book, the first letter da, there's a dot on top of the da.
Da, right. The dot on the top of the da means it's a long, the vowel is a long sound. Whenever there's a dot on the top in the Cree spelling, the dot on the top makes it a long sound. So the difference would be the ta without the dot, it's ta. It's pronounced ta, short a. And with a dot on the top, it's pronounced ta, with a long a.
Okay.
That's why in the writing system, let me switch sharing this and share the other thing. I'll share the syllabic chart. Hang on. There it is. There it is. And I'll share that. So look at the spelling for each of these. So here's da in the middle of the syllabic chart.
Yeah.
Da. And the spelling is either ta with a short A or ta with a long A. That's because in Naskapi, when the Naskapi writing system was developed by your grandparents and great-grandparents, it was pretty much in the 1930s and 40s that this happened. They took the Cree letters from the Cree hymnal, and they only wrote down the ones that they needed. So they only wrote this one without the dot. And they said, okay, when we write that, we mean either ta or da. Ta or da. It's a lot easier to learn because you don't have as many letters as the Cree system, the one that the Cree puts a dot on the top. But it's harder for non-Naskapi speakers to learn because they don't know when they see this, do you pronounce it da or da? But if you know the word like you do, if you're a Naskapi speaker, then you know that dapwa is only pronounced ever dapwa. It's always dapwa. It's never dapwa. It's dapwa. So we know that those are two long vowels. It's ta and pwa. So they don't have to put a dot on the top because they already knew how to pronounce dapwa. And this letter and this letter, one after the other, dapwa, only means really, it only means dapwa. So the Naskapi system doesn't have the extra dot on the top. So if you look at the Cree hymn book, you'll see the dots on the top. When you're reading in the Cree hymn book, you just say, I don't need those dots. But if you see them, that's what they mean. It means it's a long vowel. So they have twice as many syllabics in their syllabic set, because every one of them can also have a dot on top to show a long vowel or a short vowel. In Naskapi, this letter is ch or ja. This letter is cho or chu. This letter is chi or chi.
Yeah.
In Cree, if it had a dot on it, it's chi. Without the dot, it's chi. Clear as mud? Hello, Willie. Are you here? I signed you in. I can't hear you though, or see you. Yeah, check mark. He's got a thumbs up. That's good. All right, Annie, are you at the band office? Annie,
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Is anybody else with you?
No, just me.
Just you. Okay. So you're going to keep your video off?
No. Wait.
It's nice to see your pretty face.
Georgie.
Knows what I'm gonna say if he turns it on.
Everybody laughs.
I'm Yonti. Is it on?
Marge.
Why?
To go button into lower left
Why?
on the keyboard. And there you go. Good work.
Awesome.
Annie Netawapio.
Whatcha?
Whatcha?
Welcome, Billy.
Tanatin, Michael.
Whatcha?
Mim.
Ben, whatcha?
Coach, Chimonish.
Nee, the bonus.
Tanta.
Why?
Tanta Chuabayan Nisk. Nada.
More stingy.
No, it's a joke that Michael and I have every time we see each other.
How is that?
He asked me, Chimonish, Chimopiao, Chimotiuk,
Marge.
who are you?
All right. So thanks for singing along with me. Jesus loves me, and we looked at that that one next week we'll do 329 because that's one of John Shikanapish's favorite hymns. And don't be shy. Tell me every week if you want me to sing a different song. We can sing a different song. What I want to ask you, my class, Madeline, Annie, Jessica, Willie, can you type in syllabics on your computers?
Not me.
Why not?
I don't know how to install it.
Oh, you don't know how to install it. Is it a Windows computer?
Should be, yeah.
Yeah, that's Windows. Okay. Do you want me to, want me to show you?
Yes.
Okay. I will show you. In the email that I sent you,
Viva. Elsa.
on the email that I sent you, there's a link that you click. And that link has an installation for a thing called Keyman.
You sent it to me, Joshua.
It's I'm pretty sure that you're on my list. Let me show it to you on the screen.
Getting answers.
There it is. At the bottom of the email that I sent you, where I say see you this afternoon, at the bottom there are these online resources. There's a link for all the Naskapi ebooks. There's a link for Naskapi syllabics on computers, phones, and tablets. Right here. This is the link. So if you get this email from me, or also it's on Facebook. So if you go to the Naskapi Radio Facebook page, and where you see where it says about this page, one of the items is a list of all of these things. The syllabics is there. But what you do is you click on this link and then you install that in your computer. Let me show you how it's done. So I'll put it on my Windows computer here. So you can see I'm in Google, and I put that link into the top of Google where it says Keyman, keyboards, VJ Naskapi Common. That's the link. And you go there, and you get this page. This page shows up, and it says you can put syllabics on anything. You can put syllabics on Windows. You can put syllabics on Macintosh. You can put syllabics on your iPhone, on your iPad, on your Android phone, all of those buttons. So you choose the one you have. And since we're doing Windows right now, where it says install on Windows, you click that button. And when it installs, it downloads into your computer. Here's the thing where it downloaded at the bottom of my computer screen. It says Keyman Desktop exe at the very bottom here. And I'm pointing to that with my mouse, and I click on it, and it opens it. And it asks me whether I got permission to put this on my computer. So I have to put in my user password. Don't anybody tell anybody what my password is. It's Caribou. So now everybody knows they can get into my bank accounts and everything with my password. So then this pops up, and it says install Keyman Desktop. And you have to click install Keyman Desktop. And then it installs it. We wait for it, give it a minute. It may take a while, but it won't take minutes and minutes. It'll take, seconds. There, done. And then when it installs, you get these pictures of these foreigners. That's because the people that invented this software for typing in languages wanted to put foreign faces on the screen. I don't know who these people are. But when you start Keyman, down at the bottom of the screen next to the clock, this little button shows up. And then when you click on it, you can choose the Naskapi Common keyboard. If after you've installed it, the button doesn't show up, and often it doesn't, you have to get this notification turned on. So down at the bottom of the screen here, if your button isn't showing up, go to the next to the start button and look for notification area. Taskbar, notification area. So I just typed the word taskbar in the bottom there. And I'm going to the taskbar notification area. And that's a setting. And as you scroll down, there's a place that says select which icons appear on the taskbar. So if your keyman icon isn't showing up here, like it is on mine, you choose this, select which icons appear on the taskbar, and you switch it on. Here's the keyman, SIL International Keyman Engine X86. You switch that on. Notice at the bottom of my screen here, it shows up. If I switch it off, it disappears. It's still there, but it's just hidden. So I switch it on so that I can see it. I got to this by typing in taskbar down here in the search box, and then I looked for taskbar notification area. That's how I turned that on. So it's a little complicated at the beginning. You have to go through these steps of downloading it, installing it, and then telling your taskbar to show this icon. But after you've done all of that, it's always going to be there. And here's how to use it. You open up a document. And here's a document that I've been typing. I'm typing in the Naskapi Bible. It's part of our homework. And you put your mouse, your cursor, your mouse, click where you want to start typing, and then you type with the letters on the keys. So if I type letters here, it only comes out in English letters. So I have to switch something. I have to turn on the Naskapi keyboard in order for it to come out in Naskapi letters. And you click that by clicking this down here, and you choose the Naskapi Common, and then every letter you type comes out in syllabics, and you type just according to the syllabic chart. So I've got my Bible open here, and this is what I've asked you to do for your homework, is to open a Bible and copy out of the Bible. And so I'm at this place. I'm on verse number 7, sentence number 7 here. And the sentence number 7 of this document begins with Nama. So that's N-A-M-A. I type the N-A and the M-A, and I get Nama. And then I press the space bar for a space. Let's see if I can show you what it is I'm typing. That would be let me find it and show it to you on the screen. There it is.
Entusiasm beschikken. So you're gonna install your keyboard.
Zoom in on this. There. Okay, this is showing me verse 9. So you can actually do this. You can take a picture of your Bible, and then you can put it next to the thing that you're typing.
Willie,
So
what
that
are
you
your
look-
Bible?
Let me jump down to verse 10. And I just typed the number 10. And then it says, here I am right here at verse 10 at the very top of the page. So I just type, I look at the letters, and I say the first letter is ma. So I type M-A. The next letter is gua, the K with the dots. And now if you don't know these, you could have your syllabic chart open right next to you. So it's K-W-A, ma gua, and then a small ch, the C-H. This is very important. This is why I assigned this for homework, because you will learn your syllabics while learning to type, while learning to read, all at the same time. If you can get syllabics installed on your computer so that you are able to type it, and then just open up a Bible and copy it right out of there. Magwach, okay, the next letter after Magwach is another ma, that's easy, M-A, and then a small K, and then a space. And then the next letter is a triangle. It's pointing to the left, so it's got to be A, and then a small n, and then T-A, anta. You can see how as you read it off the page and you put it in your head and you decide, well, what if I don't know this word? Well, you will know the word if you go really slowly. The first letter is G, and you type C-H-I. The next letter is Sa, S-A. And then the next letter is A, A. Chi, Sa, A, Ya, Mi, Ya. Okay, A, Ya, Mi, Ya, U. Chi, Wa, Beach. Chai Mau Chwapich. Magwach Makanta Chai Mau Chwapich. Meanwhile, in the temple, dot. So that's basically all I'm asking you to do for homework, is to get this installed on a computer that you can type on, whether it's an office computer or home computer, a borrowed computer. Every computer in the village of Kawachikamach should have the possibility to type in Naskapi. If it doesn't, then throw it away. It's not a Naskapi computer. Naskapi computers have to have the ability to type in Naskapi. So every computer in Kawachikamach has to have this. That's my opinion. But I think you should share this opinion too. If you find a computer that you can't type in Naskapi on, get it fixed. And you can fix it now, because you have the link to install Keyman and type in Naskapi. While I'm here on verse 10, this word here, atat, there it is, atat down here. This is the word I just typed. I want to point something out to you about how to type in Naskapi. Before, you can type in Naskapi using any font. The fonts are all these different shapes of fonts that you get here. If you click on the font list, then you can put, there's one called Euphemia. Every computer has Euphemia in it. EU. Hang on. There it is, Euphemia. If you choose Euphemia, this is the font called Euphemia, you get different shaped syllabics. You can see how the Magwach has the dots really close together, and the Wa has the dots really wonky. That's because you're using the wrong font. The Wa needs to have the dots positioned just right. This word, Tabeja Joshua, has the dots positioned right because it's in the BJ Cree Uni font. This is a font that was developed in conjunction with the local people at Kawachikamach in the 1990s. So Joe Guanish, John Shikanabish, Tommy Enish, Johnny Uniam. We designed these characters so that they matched the way they expected them to see. So if you use the Euphemia font, the shape of the characters is wrong. It's not standard Naskapi. You can read it, but look, the dots are in the wrong place here. And the word spacing is narrow. It's a lot easier to read Naskapi if the word spacing is wider. So the space between the words, Enia, Dan, Ga, all of these are the spaces between the words. In the BJ Cree Uni font, the space is nice and wide. It's as wide as the Ma character. In the Euphemia font and in many other of the fonts that are available, here's one. Geduji. This one's even worse. This one is called the Geduji font. This is Gadugi. Often you'll find that your computer will start typing in these other fonts if you don't force it by selecting the BJ Cree Uni font. There's the word Magwach, and then Mak, and then Anta, and you can read that just fine, except the letters are the small letters are too small, and the word spaces are really too narrow. There's between Anta and Chaimau Chwapich, it's got this tiny little space. Whereas if you used the BJ Cree Uni font, it's BJ, there it is, then the word spacing is nice and wide. So you need two things to type in Naskapi. You need the right font, which is this typeface here, and you select that in your document under font name, choose BJ Cree Uni. But you also need a keyboard, because if you don't turn on the keyboard, every letter you type will be an English letter. Sa, Ka, Ra, Ya. So that's Zechariah. That's the next word in the sentence. So if I typed Sa, Ka, Ra, Ya, that's what I get, Zechariah, comma. So I need to turn on the keyboard too, not just the font. So you get the font, that says BJ Cree Uni. Now you got to turn on the keyboard in order to type the next word from the Bible. So I'm going to turn on the keyboard. You click on the Keyman icon down here, and you turn on Naskapi Common, and then you can type Sa, Ka, Ra, Ya, comma, and you get Zechariah. Person's name, Zechariah, the person who was in the temple, Chaimau Chwapich, at that, Zechariah. Magwach Maganta Chaimau Chwapich, at that, Zechariah. So Zechariah was in the temple. So you can see as I'm doing my homework, as I'm copying the words out of the Bible, I'm also learning those letters. I know that some of you who are just learning syllabics, sometimes you have trouble getting this one and this one, da and do. Which one is it? Is that one ta or is this one ta? Well, as you practice, you have to type ta to get ta, and you have to type tu or to to get to. So the next letter after Zechariah, the comma, is we. So that's wi. And then there's another we, and then there's a ti, and then there's a mi, and then a ch. We to meet. This is why it's so important that part of your practicing, learning how to read and write syllabics, is tied into typing syllabics, because the letters are making a round trip. They're going from the book into your head, and you're realizing what the sounds are in your head, and they're realizing what the shapes are as you type them. So it goes from shape to sound to shape. And because it makes that round trip, shape to sound to shape on the page, then that's reinforcing those letters for you. You'll know the alphabet in no time if you practice typing syllabics. It'll take longer if you're not practicing typing. All right, so remember, that's your homework, is you open a Bible and type out of the Bible. You may ask, why do I tell you to type out of the Bible? Why can't we type out of some other book? Why can't I just type the words that come through my head? Well, you could do all those things, but the Bible has been worked on over years by your grandfathers and great-grandfathers, and fine-tuned so that we know that the spelling is right. So as you're reading the Bible and you spell things, so that way you don't make a mistake and say that anta is pronounced with some other spellings. These are the right spellings. And so not only are you learning the sounds of the letters, but you're also learning correct spelling because you type out of the Bible. So look at the next word here. We witamich anta jitauch, it says. We witamich anta, and the next word is jitauch. We were studying, as we were reading, we study the nouns and verbs and the grammar and how the grammar works. And this next word is a verb. It's jitauch. But we put two thin spaces in between the chi, which is the tense marker. It tells you that it happened in the past. And the tauch. Tau means he's there, right? Or they are there. So in order to be able to see that this part of the word means the tense, past tense, and this part of the word means he is there, we put a thin space there. And the thin space is typed by pressing the shift key and then pressing the dash. And the reason we use a thin space is so that at the end of the line of text, the chi doesn't end up as an orphan by itself. Otherwise, sometimes chi is going to happen there and tauch will happen down here, down one line down. And we don't want that to happen. The chi goes with the tauch. They go together. But we put a space in, a thin space, so that we can see that this is the part of the word that has the meaning to be there, Tao. And this is the part of the word that means past tense. He was there, or they were there. This part means plural, right? So it's to be there, Tao, Dauch, Ji Dauch, they were there. We went to meet anta Ji Dauch. You get the thin spaces by pressing the shift key and pressing the dash. Shift dash gives you a thin space. If you look at the width of the spaces, this is a normal space, anta. It's nice and wide. The space between G and Tauch is a little bit narrower. It's two thin spaces. The thin space is a third of a space, 2/3 of a space, and then a full space. You can see I'm only on verse 10. Actually, I didn't even furnish verse 7 yet. So even if you only do 1 or 2 verses a day, that's enough. But do a little bit every day, and you will learn to read very fluently by this little bit of practice. Okay, I'm not going to do what we have done in previous weeks, where we fill in the syllabic chart on our own. Let me stop sharing. This page, which is a blank syllabic chart, every email that I send out, I have attached this to the email so that you can print one of these out at home and use it as a sheet. If you can fill this out without looking at the real syllabic chart, and get all the letters in the right places, then you're well on your way to knowing the whole Naskapi alphabet. After this, all you need is practice. And there's 2 things to practice. The practice is to take the Bible and keyboard out of it, type in Naskapi. And the other practice is to actually read to somebody. And that's what we're going to do next. Are you ready? So we've been reading this book. This is a Naskapi book that was one of the first books ever printed in Naskapi. It's called the Walking with Jesus series. It's a book, has Bible verses in it. It has stories about Jesus in the book. And in 1994, this was one of the first books ever printed in the Naskapi language. There's been a lot of books in Cree up till then that people in Kawa Chickamauch used. Your grandfathers, you all used Cree books. But we had books being printed in Naskapi for the first time and published, and this was one of them. This is one of the first. And so we've been reading this every day, every week, and we're down to page 19. And it says at the top of page 19, Anshin, this is the word for angel, Kanukusistuat, reveals himself or is made visible. Notice how this past tense marker, ka, is spaced out from nokusistuat. Nokun means to be visible, and nokusistuat means he's been made visible. And this word isn't a word you use in Naskapi very much at all. This is iua, people. But how about this word? This is very, very seldom used in Naskapis because there are no sheep in Naskapi territory. Mayatanisiu. A Mayatanis is the Naskapi word for sheep. It's also the Cree word for sheep. So it says here, angels were visible to shepherds. Mayatanisiu iua. And so we're going to start reading at the beginning of this part of the story. And I'll go first because I'm brave. But then I'm going to ask for volunteers. And so after I read a sentence, I'd like others to read. And this is the other way that you're going to learn to read Naskapi more fluently, is if you actually do it. You read out loud to somebody who's listening. And I trust that you're all listening. And so this says, Anamak tepaskach, Michma enta and otanao, Jitauch, Mayatanishio iuch, a Ninakanawai Mayatanisa. Very simple sentence. Anamak tepaskach, at night, right? Michma, close by, enta, there, and Otanao, that town. So Michma, enta, and Otanao, near that town. Jitauch, they were there. Mayatanisiu iuch, shepherds. So they're people who look after sheep. And what were they doing? Ninakanawaimatch. They were taking care of what? Mayatanisa, sheep. So we'll go on from here. Who will like to read, starting with this word? Volunteers, please.
I'll go.
Okay, go ahead. I can hear you.
Adibayu Jijawa Mak Ot Anjinimiwa Jinukoshistagot Nas Mak Jiji Hayashtayo. Jiji Hayashtayo.
Good.
I don't even know what that word means.
We'll come back to it.
Anda waska attach. Is it ow?
It's ooh.
Utibayu Jijawa Daiji Ayuji Wastuwage.
Good job. Yeah. You want to keep going?
I don't know.
There's only 3 words. Go ahead.
Nast Mak Jisha Chishiut. Maybe.
Okay. Let's go back and figure out what these words mean. So before we go on, we'd like to know what we're reading about. Okay. So the first word is Utabai Chichawa. It's the Lord. And so this part of the word angel means it's his angel. Okay. Ot, so the Lord's angel. Ot angelamiwa. So the Lord has angels, and so this is the Lord's angel. Chi nokusistabuch was made visible to them. Nasmak chi chikayastuao. This word means it was really shiny, bright, shining bright. And tawaska attach. So the lights were bright around them. Chikayastawao means that it was really bright. Where was it really bright? And tawaska attach. All around. What was making it bright? Otabaiti chawa ateiti a uchwastuaich. It's the Lord's light, right? Wastuau. It means that it's light, some kind of light. So this is the Lord's light. The Lord's light is what made it bright. So in the English Bible, it says the glory of the Lord shone all around them. And so in the Naskapi Bible, it just means it shone. It was shiny. It was lit up. It was nighttime, right? And so it all got light all around them, and that's what this word means. So when that happened to them in the middle of the night, nasmak chi sachi shuch, they were frightened. Who were frightened? The shepherds. The shepherds were frightened. All right. Volunteer to start reading at the next line.
Ito tani.
Okay, ma'am.
Aku kwa itikut kata itikut
Good.
anya anjinan akuach akwaya what much meow akwaya
Separate those sounds. A, ga, we.
ya
Yeah. This is just akawi. Akawi.
shachi shoot cha much tana shachi shi
Shook. Yeah, shook. Yeah, good.
Was we tama inawa ma mi iwa chi mo un.
Good. You say the whole word again.
Okay. Mia chi mo un michmaun. Must even say that on the bisong. Mi iwa chi mon.
Good. Miwachimun. You got it.
Okay, miwachimon. Mi shiwa awan
Patacha. Good.
chachi mi iwa you down. Macha.
Try again.
Mi iwa I da oh so one which shuma which dadan my
Yeah, the dot in front of the ka. The ha.
Hakwa ha.
Yeah.
It's the ha that we don't.
Yeah,
hear.
it's hard. It's yeah. Me, Miwaitach. Miwaitach.
Tuwaita.
Okay, let's talk about what you just read. So this part of the word is the tense marker, that, and when it has ka, which is a past tense marker with two dots, it's pronounced qua, and it means this is only what happened next. Ako qua itagut. So next, he said to them, itagut, and ya angina. So the angel said to them, and then he starts talking. If you look at the punctuation of this, you can see that there's a quote mark here at the front of Akawi. So this is, when the quote mark is there, that means these are the words that came out of the angel's mouth. The angel's talking to the shepherds, and this is the beginning of what he's saying. That's what these quotes. And he's saying, Gawi, Akawi. He's saying, don't what? Don't be afraid. Sachishuk. Don't you guys be afraid. Gawi chashishuk. Says they were afraid. Right? Up here it said they were afraid. Chisachisuch. They were afraid. He says don't. Akawi. Sachishuk. Don't be afraid. This just means for what? For I'm going to tell you. Weetam. So look at this whole word here. This is the whole word. Chi we weetamat nawao. This is involves two participants. It involves the people getting talked to. Weetam just means to say something to someone. Weetam. This part. Weetam. Weetam means to say, be told. Weetam. Tell him. Weetam. So this is, I'm telling you guys. Chiwi weetamat nawao. I'm telling all of you what miwachimun. So this is a kind of a funny word because it's two words squashed together. The beginning of it is miwa. And there's another part of it. This word here begins with the same sound, miwa. So
It's confusing.
Miwa means good. Miwa means good. Miwa, because like miwa, miwaitak. It means somebody feels good. Miwa is good. Tabachamun is a story. So when they put miwa in front of Tabachamun, a piece goes out and it says miwachamun. So it means good news. Miwachamun means good news. It's miwo Tabachamun. And they took those two words, miwo and Tabachamun, and squished them together. So it comes out as miwachamun. Miwo Tabachamun. Miwachamun. So I'm going to tell you some good news, he says. Misuwa Awan, everyone, right? Misuwa Awan. Batacha, who might hear this. Batacha, who hears it. Patam means to hear. Batacha, everyone who hears it. Jaji miwaitak, will be happy. So that's what that's all about. All of this is, I'm going to tell you good news so that everyone who hears it will be happy.
Miwa.
Miwa means good.
They're confusing together. Miwa.
Miwa. Yeah, miwachamun, miwaitak.
Miwaitak, yeah, miwachamun.
Miwaitam, somebody's happy about it. Miwaitam, he's miwaimao, I'm happy about him.
You can also say miwachamagano.
Miwachamagano. And all of those begin with the same miwa, which means something is good. Miu.
Bell.
Yes.
Just we still on 3:30, then we done somewhere. So
Okay.
I gotta go. Thank you so much.
All right. Are you gonna go now?
Nihi, I'm gonna
Okay.
go now.
All right.
I have a tablet that I'll contact you. Nagnainan na has tablet to
ma'am.
man ni syllabics at to man.
Academium.
Okay.
Okay, thanks for coming.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, bye-bye.
Agda. Bye.
Do I have a volunteer for the next sentence? I think it's getting late anyway, so we'll probably stop after this one.
Benjamin can read.
Yes, he can, if he wants to. I'm his father, but he doesn't have to do everything I say anymore. He's 35 years old.
37.
37. There'll come a time when you won't want to be any older than that. I'm 65. Anybody would like to read? And Ben, you can write if you like. It's up to you.
Jessica, Annie.
Willie, PJ,
Good name.
Ma'am,
Where?
where I got it highlighted.
Okay. Anda utanaj kauchit. Anya jisha jimao. Tibet. Ji wow. Chipimatishish Magonawao was Algon Utipai Christ.
Okay, that you read very, very well. Good job. Now, the harder part, though, is some of these hard words that you never, ever say in normal conversation in Naskapi because they're from the Bible. The beginning is easy. Enta utanach. Those you would say every day in town, right? Ka uchit, where he comes from, Enya who? Yao Chimao David. So the town where David, the King David comes from, Enta utanach ka uchit Enya Chao Chimao David. Here's the hard part. Chiwao chipimatisi demagnoao awas. What is this word? Can we figure that out? This is the past tense marker. Pematisis demagnoao. Chiwao chipimatisi awasa. Can anybody venture a guess on what this word means?
Pimatishu, isn't it?
Yes,
Comes to life.
right. He comes to life. That's right. Pematishu, because when somebody passes away, we say punip matsio. That means he stops living. Punip matsio. So this is pematsio. He comes to life. Or another way to say it is that he's born. And this part, maganoao, means that he's born to you. That's why it says Chiwao. Chiwao. All of you guys, Chiwao. Matsio Matisistemagano Awas. So he's born to you. So all of you are going to have this person, this Awas, born to you. And who is this Awas? Aungkun Utabai Chichao Christ. So the Utabai Chichao is just the religious word meaning he's the Lord. And X means Christ. All right. Volunteer for the last sentence, or the second to the last sentence. PJ, Willie. Annie. Is Annie still there?
Where Chukwapata now?
Uh-huh.
Chukwapata now. Nas Atapoyan. Chukimishko. Ustiwas. Awishkoya Chinakanut. Pichuyanis and the Awashisha Kachuch Michuichi Upnishant. Upnishi.
Very good, Jessica. Good job. That was Jessica, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And so just figuring this one out, it's very important as we learn to read Naskapi that we don't just say the sounds, but that we also figure out what this means. A lot of the words are easy. Chikawapatanawao. You will see him. Nas atapuayan. You will see that this is true. Nas atapuayan. Chikamiskuawao. You will find him. Who? Ushawas. So this is the same word as this, awas, but this word has something added to the front. Ushawas. It means a newborn or tiny baby, newborn baby. So not just a child, but a newborn child. What's this big word? Wrapped up. He's all wrapped up all around. Wrapped up in what? Bituyanich. Cloth. And you're going to find him where? In Awasisa Kaji Och Mitsuichi.
Washisha animal. Where the
Animal, place where animals eat. Or a place where they are fed. And what's he going to be doing in that place where the animals are led? When? Bimishik. He was laid down in there. Bimishik, he's laid down. All right, last line on the page, and then we'll quit. Anyone at all? Yeah, keep going. You're doing a good job.
Geduji Font Gutagaj Anjan Geduji Font Auji Nogoshut Amami Jimat Jishamandwa Au Wishti Swat.
Let's go back and figure out what this says. So suddenly, sistagoch, suddenly, mak, chi och michatoch, kutagach, anchans, chichisagoch, in the sky or in heaven. So there's a lot of them. Chi och michatoch, kutagach, other angels, kutagach, angels. Chichisagoch, a och no kusich. They were seen, they were visible. And what were they doing? Mamichimach. There's another word you don't say very much except in church. Mamichimach means they were praising him. Chamandoa. And they were saying this. And so tomorrow, next week, we'll continue on with what they were saying.
Okay.
Good job, everybody. And we're getting better all the time. Make note, maybe when you go back and watch this video later, make note of especially the places where you were reading. And if you're reading it and you said ye, ya, and it should be ye, or if you're reading it and you said oo and it should be ah, make note of those. And then there's only a few letters that you need help with. Just a few, like to tell the difference between tu and ta, or to tell the difference between ye and you, or to tell the difference between ah and u. Most of you have it all right, but every once in a while there's a mistake, and those are the kinds of mistakes that I'm seeing. So learn those to be able to tell the difference between ah and u. There's awan, misawa awan, and there's u danach. Those are the easy ones to get wrong, but they're so different. It's not atanach, it's otanach. It's not owan, it's awan. All right, everybody. Good job. Good job.
Just come now.
All right. Thanks for coming, everybody. And we'll see you later.
Watch you.
Thank you, Bill.
Gotcha.